G'day, it's Nat. Let's check out what's been in the news. Australians, it's time to give yourselves a pat on the back. But just your own back. Don't go touching other people's backs, and make sure you wash your hands. Yeah. It turns out all of our social distancing is working and we're flattening the curve. But what is the curve? Here's Kale.
Surely there's something here. Flatten the curve? What's this?
Welcome to Flattening the Curve. Would you like to play?
What's this about?
Well, the curve is this. It's a graph that shows how the number of COVID-19 cases can grow over time, without any social distancing. This line here shows the number of people our hospitals can support at any one time. So obviously this is a problem. Here's a better curve. Now, it goes on for longer, but our hospitals can keep up with all the cases.
Right, I'm getting it. So, how do we get this curve?
The instructions are simple. Prevent the spread of the virus by staying inside, wash your hands, and keep your distance. It's a game us Aussies are playing pretty well.
The daily growth rate in cases has now fallen to just a few percentage points per day.
This is our curve at the moment. It's flattening. And while the number of COVID-19 cases is still rising, it's rising way more slowly.
Oh, staying inside's so boring. Surely there's some cheats here.
Nope, sorry, there's no way around it. If people try to cheat the game, this curve could go right back up.
We're not out of trouble at the moment.
This is what could happen if we stop physical distancing too early. That's a low score. The government says we're playing the long game here, but it's one that we all need to win.
There have been celebrations in the Chinese city of Wuhan, where lockdown measures have ended. It became official at the stroke of midnight when Wuhan was lit up by a special light show celebrating healthcare workers. Wuhan was where the COVID-19 virus was first discovered, and for a while it was the worst affected place in the world. But China says that, thanks to some super tough quarantine measures, it's managed to stop the spread. It's been a stressful few weeks for Year 12 students who've been waiting to hear whether exams are going ahead and whether or not they'll be able to graduate. We wanted to know how they feel about it, so we got in touch with some Year 12 students.
I was really relieved to hear that they weren't going to extend our studies into next year.
You're knowing that it's definitely going to happen, especially with all the uncertainty in the past.
This is my dog's reaction. He's just grateful that he's found a new bed.
Yep, the class of 2020 will graduate after having a very different final year. While each state is approaching things differently, at the moment, to stop the spread of COVID-19, a lot of students will continue online learning from home for term 2 and maybe the rest of the year.
Working remotely is proving to be a challenge.
There's things like excursions or in-class practicals obviously are a bit more challenging to do now.
It's going to be a little bit harder to stay motivated and driven to complete all of these tasks on time because there's no one really standing there telling me that I need to do it.
I have quite a few concerns that academically I'm not going to perform as well.
Maybe though, with a little encouragement from each other, it won't be so bad.
I'd say to all other Year 12 students, we can do this.
Just remember to reach out and support each other, check in with your friends, see how they're going.
You've got to try your best, not anyone else's best.
We just need to stay optimistic so that we can get this done.
Fighting crime and keeping people safe, the police have a really big job. And lately they've been using some interesting methods to remind us all to stay safe. Here are some creative cops. For New Zealanders still having doubts about what they can and can't do in lockdown, here's a handy video that might help. New Zealand police have asked creative people from across the country to make videos, like this one, to keep people in the know and entertained. Meanwhile, police in India are doing things a little differently. Wearing spiky, virus-shaped helmets and holding spiky sticks, they took to the streets to tell people to stay at home and practice social distancing. And speaking of unique, there's nothing like a giant virus chasing after you to remind you to stay at home. The police in Bolivia wanted to make a point about telling people to respect the country's restrictions on public gatherings. Those coronaviruses are way too close for my comfort. Maybe that's the point. That's all we've got time for today. See you tomorrow.